Meet Codename Goose, your on-machine open-source AI agent, built to automate your tasks. Codename Goose is an intelligent and autonomous agent capable of handling complex tasks thanks to its core features. Connect with apps and tools you already use with extensions. Built on the Model Context Protocol, you can connect to extensions like GitHub, integrate JetBrains IDEs, access Google Drive, or build your own custom integrations for Goose. For a curated list of extensions, visit our docs. With a wide range of compatible large language model providers, you can choose and integrate your preferred model. You can also run Goose as a desktop app or through the command line interface using the same configurations across both. You can think of Goose as an assistant, ready to take your instructions and do the work for you. Able to handle a wide range of tasks across various engineering domains. Here are examples of tasks Goose has helped people with already. Goose has helped dive into a new project in an unfamiliar coding language, conduct code migrations such as Ember to React or Ruby to Kotlin, increase code coverage, and even generate unit tests for a feature, and much more. To get started using Goose right away, check out our quick start and be the first to know about upcoming features by joining our community.
Hey guys, this is an impromptu stream. So hopefully it goes well, but how's everyone doing? Let me put the chat in the stage. I see Nick, hey Nick, and Amanda and Best Codes and Juliana and Professor D NYC and Cadence. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. All right, so I built a little Ralph Loop thing, and hopefully, I wanted to try it out before we went live, just to check my own sanity, but I didn't get a chance. So hopefully it goes well. But for a second, I'm gonna kind of explain what this is, even my journey of just kind of discovering this as well, because I'm a little bit of a, I don't know if skeptic is a little bit of the right word, right? I'm totally in on AI agents, but I do think that and I do think there is some level of orchestration needed for certain things, but I'm always a little wary when I see a new pattern or method come out, because I think oftentimes we're trying to make up for the lack of the model. So anytime something comes out, I'm like, do we need this for real? Or is this just something we're excited about, and then in 2 months, Opus 5.7 or something like that's going to come out, and we're not going to need it anymore. But so I still want to go into a lot of these with a open mind and be what is this though? Before I write it off, let me learn a little bit about this. So I kept seeing this Ralph Wiggum Loop everywhere, and apparently that's this character, Ralph Wiggum, from YouTube. And the way that I understand why he named it this is, first of all, it's kind of funny. The creator's name is Jeffrey. He says standard agent loops. He's been experimenting with LLMs for years, and he said that standard agent loops kind of make him Ralph, as in throw up. I guess he's the idea of how it's all working. And I was like, oh, that's why he kind of named it that. And then he said he did Ralph Wiggum because Ralph is kind of this dumb but persistent, lovable guy. I don't know. I never really watched Simpsons like that. I've seen a few episodes, but I never even knew this guy's name was Ralph Wiggum. So yeah. So that's kind of the reason behind the naming. So when I seen it, I was like, all right, it's just like a little meme. Like that made me even more like side eyeing it. But I'm like, I'm curious to try it out. So when my first implementation, I kind of just copied the Claude Code version, right? So Claude Code made their own like plugin or hook or whatever with Ralph Wiggum, and I was like, okay, like let me just read this, look at it, get an understanding for it, and I was like, okay, I could do this. And then I kind of told Goose like what I wanted. I'm like, make sure it looks like this, and this, and like compare to the Claude Code version. And of course, Goose is like, well, we don't have hooks. I'm like, yeah, just use a recipe, whatever, right? So we implemented that. I ran it, and I was like, I don't see the big deal. Like, I'm like, it kind of costed me lots of money. Let me see if I could find on LinkedIn. Well, not lots of money, but I'm like more money than needed. Let me look through my notifications and see if like I have the most recent version of it. Yeah, right here. I was like, I based it off Ralph Wiggum plugin for Claude Code, and I had it make me like this cute little browser. I always wanted to make a browser before, but it kind of struggled. Like, first of all, it couldn't make its own rendering engine. It was like, I don't know. I was like, all right, just use Electron, make it Chromium based, and it worked. But it was like $24 in tokens. 51% of my context window was used up, and I was like, I thought they said this is supposed to like save your context window. I'm like, I do not get it. But then my friend, I know maybe you guys are like, what do we need this story for? But I feel like it leads up to like explaining. But okay, my friend Andrew Ziegler, I guess he interviewed Jeffrey recently, and like they've been chatting, and so he tagged Jeffrey, and Jeffrey was like, don't make the same mistakes that Anthropic did. And then I was like, oh shoot, I don't think I understand this loop at all. So I watched his video. I watched an interview that Andrew did with Jeffrey as well, and I was like, oh, okay. So the Ralph loop is not supposed to keep looping in the same session. That's essentially the same thing as a standard agent loop. So I wrote this, and I feel like reading this out will kind of help you guys to understand. If you were like, I heard about this, but I don't know what it is, right? So right now, standard agent loops suffer from context accumulation, right? Like they're like, oh, I got this wrong. And then they go back and they iterate and they try again. But what happens is the context window is getting filled up, and the model has to really just sift through all of the noise, all of the extra attempts that it made, et cetera, to focus on its task. Because it's now like a huge prompt, and like it has to look at the output and the input each time, and now it has more and more and more. So for the Ralph loop, what he wants, or his intention, is that like after each iteration, you want to start with a fresh new session, so you can have a fresh new context. So you're dumping all this data or all the context into a file, and then you start a new session, and then the loop starts a new session. You're not manually starting a new session. So the loop starts a new session, and then it looks at what happened in the file, and it's like, oh, okay, now I know what to do. And it goes into this context window, into this new session, continues from there, iterates again, sees if it was complete. And it keeps doing that until it's like, all right, we completed the task at hand. This kind of made, I was like, okay, I see a little bit. And I still was a little bit like, why do we need this? But if you guys listen to this interview, let me put it in the chat. I don't know how to find it. Dev interrupted. Podcast, Ralph Wiggum. And I'm going to look at the comments in a second, and then I'm going to actually run mine. Mine is not perfect. I'm going to say that, right? Like if you guys are experts and you have ways to improve it, like feel free. But I listened to this interview from Dev Interrupted. Paste. Put it in the chat for you guys. I don't know if LinkedIn people could see it. From The Simpsons, actually. Wait, did I not say Simpsons? I hope I said that. I hope I said Simpsons. Okay, I didn't read all the chat, but yeah. So he kind of explains that he's been doing experiments with LLMs for like years. So like this is his thing. He's not just like some random like grifter just trying to do stuff. And he also says he's looking at like sessions as like arrays. So he's like, this is one array, this is another array. He explains it way better than me, right? But you wouldn't want to get the array all like cluttered up. I wrote some notes for myself too. Hold on. so I can make sure that I stay on task with what my takeaways were. Where are they? Oh yeah, and then he talked about how the fact that, like, you guys can see my notes. I don't really care. But he talked about the fact that you can use compaction in your sessions, but compaction ends up being very lossy because it ends up losing a lot of the important context that you had. And he says, imagine it like this: if you uploaded a video to YouTube and then downloaded it and then uploaded it and downloaded it and kept doing that over and over again, eventually it will lose some of the like resolution and it'll become really lossy. He said that's how he's imagining or making equivalent to like compaction. And then he also says sometimes models end up having that context compaction anxiety where they're like, oh shoot, I'm close to running out of like my context window. I'm gonna start like cheating a little bit. So he's like, in that way you start to get worse results or hallucinations and stuff like that. So his idea is put everything in a file, like let the model or the session put what happened in a file, and then a new session starts and then it reads that file and it just keeps looping and looping and looping, right? And then you might say, like, why would I do this in my day-to-day? I don't really think this is something for your day-to-day. This is more of like an orchestrator pattern for like if you want to do like true like agent orchestration. Like, I don't know, people have been talking about Gastown by Stephen Yegi. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's like more of a pattern that will feed into that. Okay, I hope that made sense to people before I run it. And then let me see what the comments say. 2 minutes early. Oh yeah, I was late. Good morning. Hi guys. Hi. Oh, Ralphing all day, every day. So excited. Haven't Ralphed myself. All AI trends be like fashion trends. Yeah, definitely. No, he said apparently I feel old. Oh, I don't know any of the Simpsons. Thank you. Okay, great. So did you use Ralph to build your Ralph plugin? I did not. I used Goose to build my Ralph. These are actually recipes. So now we can go into like how I built it and we can start running it too. So Goose has this thing called recipes, and this allows you to do like automated workflows, and you can use like a / command to kick them off. So I use recipes and one bash script. So for this, and I put my own little spin on it, guys, right? So instead of just having one model, I'm like, Goose supports a multi-model approach. So instead, I can like have one model do the work and another model review the work and see like, is this actually good, to avoid like bias, because like the same model is going to say, yeah, I did a good job. So I was like, maybe we could try that. But anyways, so the first step, we're just going to go through the recipe as if like I was brand new, fresh to this. Terminal, hello. Okay. I'll just create a new tab because I don't know what was going on in this one. And CD. Okay, so let me zoom in because maybe you guys can't see. Okay, now we're going to run this command. What this is doing is it's just downloading the recipe files for us. So it did it. Let me make sure it did. CD. Okay, cool. It has a Ralph loop bash script, it has a Ralph review recipe, and it has a Ralph work recipe. So the Ralph loop bash script, that's going to act as our like orchestrator, or the outer orchestrator. That's the one that's doing the loop and creating a new Goose session each time. And then we're going to have one that does the work and then one that doesn't, and then one that reviews. I'm going to give it, I hope I still have this. I have this like large large prompt. I'm just going to copy and paste it into here. Okay. I should have prepped a little bit more before this, but I was like, let's just go live. Let's just do this. All right, I'm going to go into agent experiments, and I'm just going to call it like live stream demo or something like that. Okay, I low-key forgot how to create a new folder from here, so we're just going to do it from the terminal. Okay, documents, ls CD agent experiments. And then we're going to do make their what am I trying to do? Live stream Ralph demo. Okay, it should be there. Good. Okay, and then I'm going to put my prompt in there. So this prompt I have is pretty big. So I could either pass in a string, but I want to pass in like a little bit of a longer prompt. A little nervous, but we'll see. We'll see. Like hopefully Goose performs well and it does its thing. So there is a prompt that I want to copy. And where are you? Where are you? You are in the one that uses a skill. Browser. Here we are. Prompt.md. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it into live stream Ralph demo. Did you go in? No, you went to this. Hold on. That's not where I want you. Go here. Okay, who would have thought copying and pasting would be my biggest struggle? All right, here we go. So the prompt's in here. I'm going to CD into there and run my Ralph loop thingy, right? So this is the command to get that Ralph loop running. And let's go to our directory, live stream Ralph demo. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to tell it to run our prompt. So I'm going to say prompt, right? Prompt.md. Okay, so now it's asking me, what do I want my worker model to be? And I want it to be Goose, what is it? Claude Opus or Claude 4.5 Opus. Let me make sure in the UI that that's the right naming. So Goose, because these are the models that Block uses. So Goose Claude 4.5 Opus, yep. And then I haven't tried this yet, but I think I want to use GPT as my reviewer. Like, I don't know how that's going to go, but let's see. So we can try Goose GPT 5.2 as my reviewer. So I'm going to press enter. Oh, worker provider, Databricks. And then reviewer model is going to be Goose. What was the name of it? Goose. Guys, I'm nervous. Okay, GPT 5.2. That's what I want. GPT 5.2. Just making sure, just double checking. Yep, that was right. So I'm going to press enter and then my provider's Databricks again. And I'll leave it at 10 iterations. Like that's the default. And then I put a little cost warning. It actually hasn't been that expensive, but I just don't want anyone being like, yo, you ran up my token. So I put a little cost warning. So this is my little like bash script loop that just keeps looping. Uh-oh, unknown provider, Databricks. Is that not my provider? That is. Hold on. The other way I could run this. Oh, should I? Give me a second. Oh yeah, maybe it is lowercase. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you, best codes. Hopefully that's it. And all right, so we did Goose, Claude. Why is this the scariest part? Like, am I putting the model names in right? And Databricks. And if not, I'm gonna ask Goose, like, what happened? Why is this not working? That way we don't spend too many cycles on this. Reviewer model, Databricks. Go. Yes. Oh, thank God. Thank you. I was like, what happened? I was not thinking. All right. So I'll explain some stuff that's happening. So we're just going to see like mad output happening, right? So the prompt they actually gave Goose, we can open up and look at it and open with cursor. Cool. This is like a long like PRD, right? So I told it like, we're making a browser, kind of like the one you guys saw me do on LinkedIn. And I wanted to use Electron and React and TypeScript and Vite. Like I describe what it is, what's the goals, the design and aesthetic. I tell it can be found in like this skill file that I have. I can open that up too for you guys. So you can see, let me make a new tab. Open. Uh-oh. It doesn't exist anymore. I guess I removed it. But we'll see what Goose does. Maybe it's going to iterate and find out that it doesn't exist or whatever. But I did have a skill file. I think I cleared out a lot before this live stream just to make sure that like I didn't have like old like files laying around. But it's supposed to like follow the styling. If it doesn't, we'll see what happens, whatever. But I told it to like use like these type of colors. I don't like, this is like my specific stuff that I want. We'll see what happens. And then I told it don't use iframes for web content because that's one thing I kept running into. So I have like this large PRD for it so it could follow it. You can also give it like one singular prompt, but this I think allows it to do a little bit more iterations if it's trying to get like specifically to at least hopefully I'm not like talking out my ass, but specifically to this result. And then it's going to continue to run kind of like we see here, where it's going to start with iteration 10. It's going to start with its work phase, its review phase, and then eventually it'll say, all right, we've shipped after etc. iterations. And what it's doing back and forth is it's going to put this task into these folders. So we can actually see, we can open these up, but it's going to put these different, sure, I don't know why you need access to my music or my photo library. Okay, I'm just going to keep pressing a lot. But anyways, it creates a couple of files that this is what like the models are going to use to communicate and iterate. So it puts the whole task description into this task.md file. It puts what number iteration it's on into this iteration.txt file. It gives a summary of what the worker did. The worker will say like, I completed what I was supposed to do. It gives a result. If like we should revise or ship, that's the reviewer model. And then it gives its feedback as well. So all of that's like happening in these different files. Let's take a look at them while this runs. I don't know how long this is going to take. And oh, it's actually going to have issues. We might have to run this one more time, but we'll see. If it fails, that could be cool to see, whatever. I have my VPN on, my work VPN, and it struggles to like not Goose, but I'm not able to do like npm install or install dependencies when I'm on my VPN. So in the end, it might just tell me to do it. Oh, okay. It actually started. It didn't have the skills file, and it didn't have the ability to do npm install, but it seems like it's doing a little bit. And what I have the prompt doing, one of the prompts is like part of its like revision or check is to use like Playwright and like kind of run a couple of tests. I wanted it to use the Playwright MCP or the Chrome DevTools MCP, but because this is an Electron app, the Playwright MCP and the Chrome DevTools MCP can only look at browsers. So I just had like Goose write a script. So let's see. It doesn't say shipped yet, but I think it's getting close to it. And I think we were going to look at what's in here, right? As you can see, I got ADHD, so we're going to be all over the place. Would you be in here? Where's my file? Or is it just, I think it gets stored right in this directory. Open. Here we go. All right, so we have our like iteration files, our task.md and stuff like that. So we can look in cursor, and it essentially just dumped the PRD here. And then it dumped the iteration that it was on in here. It's probably on iteration 1. Yeah, it didn't need a lot. And then is the work complete? We can open this text file. It's done. Okay, so we'll go back to the thing and see. It only took us one iteration to get this done. Maybe because it didn't have the skill file to compare it to, and it's missing a couple of things. But let's see what happens on the other side. Wait, it said it's done, but it don't look done to me. I don't know. All right. Let's see the chat while this is going. There's a lot in this chat. All right. So I'm going to highlight this one from Cadence. Compaction is so bad. I've been experimenting with something similar, having a manager context that keeps the thread for agents or other instances in order to keep the thread for as long as possible before the context runs out. Fewer compaction and less rote work in context equals task, a longer task, higher quality code, less human refactoring. I love that. I love that. Like my only little like very bad solution has been I'll just open up a new session and then I use Goose has like a chat recall MCP and I just use that and I just tell it like, hey, did this work? Or like what did I do in my last session? Multi-model is dope. Didn't think of that. Thank you. Will this keep trying until it's actually done the task, but then it will remember the context after? Is the point to forget the context of previous chats? The point is it only did one iteration, so it's completed now. The point is that what was the question? It's going to keep trying until it completes the task, but it keeps looking in like the files that I made to see like what happened, and then the reviewer is like, I hated that, or this was pretty good. I think maybe I should make my reviewer a little bit like Best Codes was saying this, like a little bit more specific so it can or stricter so it can do some more iterations. But I do want to see how this turned out. Have I tried this with local LLMs yet? No, but Best Codes did, and it was Goose just doesn't perform super well with local LLMs. However, I'm thinking if you use because local LLMs for Goose is heavy on the tool calling, and local LLMs, they're not that great with tool calling, we've seen. So I'm thinking maybe if you have the reviewer as the local LLM, that might be better because all it has to do is to read the file and say, like, this looks good or it doesn't look good. Case sensitivity. I had Claude's research the pattern on. Yeah, like when I first did it, I was like, I don't get why this Ralph loop thing is actually something people care about. But if you listen to that interview, you will be like, oh, this man is not crazy. He's actually really, really smart. He's a genius. All right, I guess let's look at it. I don't have anything else much to do here, but like read y'all's CD cookie browser, y'all's comments, and then run it. And then I don't know, I guess like if you guys have questions, hopefully I can answer them. Let's see if it actually runs. I don't even know what the package.json wants me to do. Let's do npm run start. Interesting that it still found a way to install the npm packages. Usually when I just do this with Goose straight up, it's like it failed, too bad, doesn't work, whatever. But this found a way. I think again, like just to emphasize, this wouldn't be like for me when I use an agent, I tend to use it for like exploratory, like brainstorming. I'm like, oh, what do you think I should do here, etc., etc. You wouldn't use the loop for that. You will use this for something more deterministic. And if you're like trying to set up some kind of orchestration that you just walk away, like how Stephen Yege is talking about Gastown, and that thing sounds like very, very chaotic. But like if you're just like walking away and you're like, I'm gonna let my agent, like Goose, do whatever the heck it wants. And I'm gonna have confidence that it completed it correctly. That's what you would want it for. Let's see if it actually navigates these. All right, these buttons don't work. They don't work. So the reviewer, I don't think you did your job. Okay, but it goes to stuff. But these buttons are kind of fake. It didn't do a couple things. I attribute that to me accidentally deleting that skills file, so it didn't get a chance to see the things I wanted. I wanted a bookmark. Oh, I'll show you guys the real one. Oop, I didn't mean to stop sharing. Now you can see my Facebook. But I'll show you guys the actual version when I had the skills file. It's not that much better, but it had some of the features that I wanted. So where are you? cd.ls. Okay, where was I? I have so many random folders, and then browser, and then cookie browser. npm run start, maybe? npm. All right, let's look at what's in here. Package, JSON. How you run this? Okay. Is it npm electron build or electron start? I don't know. Let's use this one. Wait. Oh, npm run. Sorry. Okay, this is the one that I made before. Like the links actually worked, and it had a little bookmarks tab and like history and stuff like that. Like that's what I wanted. And it would have a little settings. Like this is not very advanced. I actually want to see. I saw Cursor did this yesterday. I'm like, damn it! I already wanted to do this. I wanted to build my own browser with an agent, but have its own rendering engine and stuff like that. I don't want to necessarily use Chromium. I still haven't gotten there yet, but we're getting close. So this is like the first version where when I made the Ralph Loop that I was like, oh my God, it worked. Okay, now I'm gonna look at the chat, and then I think we can wrap from there. Oh, hi, Henri and Ace. You guys missed it all, basically. But let me look at what happens in the chat. No, I've used small local LLMs. They were not, they weren't smart. They kind of just gave up. And the rate limiting hits them. I feel like that loop happens a lot in the AI space. This sounds crazy. Oh wait, no, that's actually genius. Yeah. Local LLMs aren't the best. Exactly. One day soon we should catch up. Ooh, I would like to. All right. From Discord, can you use recall to retrieve the skill? Why are you smart? Let's try that. Okay. I don't know who wrote that, but thank you. Let's turn on the recall extension. Where are you? REC. I don't know. When I'm on stream, my brain's not working as much anymore. All right. So what I'm gonna tell it is, I had I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, and let me take this off. I had a skills file in this directory. Do you remember what was in it? And let me find the directory. I don't know who wrote that, but you're a genius. Like, why wasn't I thinking of that? Where was that prompt? There's one in here. Open prompt.md, or it might be one directory back. There we go. And it had a skills.md. Okay. Hell yeah. I'm so excited just to see if this would find it. This was the directory. Okay, let's see what the chat is saying while this finds it. Oh, Kareem, thank you. Thank you so much, Kareem. It found references, so it's going to try to find it. I know it doesn't exist. That's it? Aww. That's not all. Okay, I got really hyped. That's okay. I can let me tell it. Can you look through the sessions where we built the skill file or used it? Try harder. You kind of gave up, I feel like. All right, but for the people that just came in, I'm gonna wrap soon. But how much did you guys miss? Do you know what a Ralph Loop is? Because I can just completely quickly summarize it. The skill, the session. I I guess this isn't one. I had way more in there. I had more. It wasn't just the color aesthetic, but that's all right. It tried. And thank you for that really smart idea, Kareen. Like you were thinking outside the box. All right. But to sum it up, Ralph Wiggum Loop is this pattern, this agentic pattern that Jeffrey Huntley made, and I was initially skeptical about, but it's really made for agent orchestration and standard agent loops. They kind of just like what they do is they iterate until they find the answer. The problem is they fill up the context window, and what people use as the solution is to use compaction, but compaction ends up being really lossy. And he uses this analogy of uploading and downloading a video over and over and over again. Eventually you lose that quality of the video. Same with the chat, you start losing key points that happen within the conversation or the session. So his solution is you need to start a new session so that like you can find the exact, like you can have the like quality, right? Like your agent's not going to start acting crazy, or your LLM's not going to start hallucinating. So he's like, start a new session each time. That outer loop, that bash script is starting a new session for you, and it's dumping the context of whatever happened in that session into a file so that the new session can refer to it. So that's the Ralph loop. And then I added an extra thing where like one model reviews and one model works. We seen it, what I demonstrated ended up completing in one session. It basically went back and forth, iterating with the reviewer and the worker. Maybe I gave it too easy of a prompt, and maybe I need to do something a little harder so we can go back and forth a bit more, because I want to see it. I've only seen it do 3 iterations with me. I want to see it do a bit more, especially since it's not on my dime. But yeah, that's really the Ralph loop, and that's how it works, and that's it. I feel like this design philosophy is that we don't want the model to get smarter by remembering. We want it to get smarter by reevaluating. I like that. I'm going to steal that. I like that. All right. That's it from me, really. I don't have much more to show, but I hope that helped you guys understand the Ralph loop a little bit more. At first, to me, I was like, who cares? But now I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I'm excited to explore other agentic patterns. If you guys have agentic patterns that you guys think me and my team should explore, like let me know. Like I'm open-minded and down for learning. All right, that's it. Bye guys.